There's no question that Marjorie Taylor Greene is really dumb, but maybe she's not quite as dumb as we all originally thought, because let's take a look at this. This is unusual. Yesterday, politician Marjorie Taylor Greene said that people panicking over tariffs are losers and failures. Today, she disclosed over a dozen stock purchases, purchasing hundreds of thousands of numerous stocks. She bought when the market was deeply red. Unusual. And what I want to say to this is exactly MAGA. They play dumb and they play red meat to their base when it benefits them. And then all of a sudden, she's able to learn how to game the system in the stock market, which obviously this is illegal and we need to have insider trading. And she claims to be this big Christian and she's this big Jesus lady. And here she is breaking laws and gaming the system. Here's another post regarding her. Marjorie Taylor Greene bought Restoration Hardware during the tariff dip. It caught our attention because it was her first time ever buying the stock. It is up 27% today after the announcement of the tariff pause. A couple of things here. When I'm not a podcaster, I'm an interior designer. And I was very upset to see that Restoration Hardware CEO is a big MAGA guy. And I want to remind everybody that in the design industry, you have a lot of women that own their own companies. You have a lot of gay men. So I will never, ever purchase Restoration Hardware furniture ever again. He could have set this out and been non-political, but to support agendas that actively try to attack your customer base is flat out stupid. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, she can be smart when she wants to because she was able to make a shit ton of money insider trading on Restoration Hardware. Let's listen to Representative Robert Garcia call her out.
What we want to know is, what did Marjorie Taylor Greene know before that announcement happened? And what stocks did she and her family trade leading up to that announcement?
Okay, I love Robert Garcia. He's been a guest on IHIP News, and I agree. I think that there is a huge problem, whether it's Nancy Pelosi, Moses Mike Johnson, or Marjorie Taylor Greene. There is a massive conflict of interest with people in government trading stocks because inevitably they know what's happening before the public does. This is not a good economic system. This is corruption at the highest order. And I would love nothing more than for this hypocrite that likes to play dumb all the time, that clearly is savvy enough to game the stock market system and lie and cheat to enrich herself and her family, all in the name of Jesus and all in the name of everybody take their Bibles everywhere. I think she needs to be called out, and I think she needs to be drugged in front of Congress, because here's the thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's not just existing by herself as one crazy person. People voted for her. There are people that hear her and think, yep, she's crushing it. I like her. She represents my values. All right, now let's take a look at Marge's net worth and how it's rising. Marjorie Taylor Greene's net worth was $700,000 before Congress. Today's net worth, $22 million. I want to know how. And this is insane. If anybody knew how to go from 700,000 and then a few years later, 22 million. I guess the answer is you have to run for Congress and win, and then play dumb and weaponize your religion and feed red meat to dumb people. And then you can personally enrich yourself, all in the name of Jesus. All right. But I want to remind everybody that even though she's showing bits of immoral savviness, her default setting is still that she's really dumb. Let's play the video.
The good news, ladies and gentlemen, the American people are not going to die under President Trump and his great administration, because the goal is to make America great again.
So Americans are not going to die under Trump. That is a complete lie. And if we look back to Trump 1.0 and the COVID deaths, and remember that Trump was almost one of those COVID deaths, and his abject mismanagement and failure of that pandemic, it's unbelievable. But furthermore, he has dismantled the very agencies that keep Americans safe. He is removing consumer protections, which MAGA Republicans like to call regulations. He is removing these things so that our water's not going to be tested anymore. FDA inspections of food, these inspectors have been fired. Disease and needless deaths are going to increase under President Trump, and that is an objective fact. Next up, we have a tweet. Marjorie Taylor Greene posted this on her Twitter account, and it also comes with a little video. It's an AI of the Marjorie Taylor Greene starter kit, if she was a doll. And she actually writes this: I love all my accessories, including my Bible and gavel for Doge committee chair. So let's think about this. Let's review. Here she is engaging in insider trading to accumulate wealth for herself. And then in her little doll starter kit, she's got a Bible. Jesus spoke out against the accumulation of wealth. And as a non-religious secular person in this country, I always see this dissonance with the loudest, most outspoken Christians. They're willing to sell all of their morals down the river. They're willing to not fight for marginalized people just because they think they might get a little extra money. You have families that have gay members in their families that vote against the family members they claim they love, all in the name of fiscal conservatism, so that they can just make a wee bit extra money. This is why Christianity is losing its numbers, because it is breathtaking hypocrisy. But let's not forget that even though, again, she's learning how to game the system in Congress, she still believes in Jewish space lasers. Let's play this clip.
What about Jewish space lasers? Tell us about Jewish space lasers.
No, why don't you go talk about Jewish space lasers, and really, why don't you fuck off? How about that?
Thanks. Thank you very much.
So I'm wondering, like in the little doll that she rolls out with the Bible, maybe she could add like a little string feature. Why don't you go fuck off? I mean, here's the thing. All of that's fun on TikTok. All of that's fun on Instagram. She's a congressperson in the United States of America. And because we've started to elect unserious, stupid people and appoint unserious, stupid people, this demeans our institutions to where now Congress approval rating is, I think, in the teens. And being a congressperson doesn't mean anything anymore. When I was growing up, there was a deference given that these people had decency and were intelligent and serious people. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't, but that was the appearance of it. Now we have this nut job, immoral, illegal actions to game the system for her personal wealth, all done with her little Bible in tow in the name of Jesus, and then telling reporters to fuck off and talking about Jewish space lasers. But the whole Jewish space lasers made me want to do a little check-in on America's crazy Christian problem. And I found something that's just breathtaking. All right, please put this up. We have Pastor Alex, and he has started, and this is real, Christians Against Satellites. And he goes on to say the negative impact of artificial satellites and space debris orbiting the Earth. Satellites interfere with our ability to effectively communicate with God. Prayers often collide with satellites and are deflected or destroyed upon impact. Satan uses satellites to intercept and alter prayers before they reach God, resulting in disastrous consequences. Satellites block God's ability to watch us. Satellites interfere with our flight paths of angels. Continued proliferation of satellites causes navigational issues for Jesus and further delays his return to Earth. And in a nutshell, for international viewers, I have to tell you, I live in the Bible Belt. People here that are evangelical Christians cherry pick their morals based on what personally impacts them. They cherry pick science, and if a preacher stood in front of them and told them this, they would believe it. Evangelical Christianity is inherently anti-science, and that's why demographically I'm in Oklahoma City. Marjorie Taylor Greene is from Georgia. Common denominator, Bible Belt. Common denominator, bottom 10 states. Common denominator, least educated, least economic producing states. In the Bible Belt, they want to keep people dumb. They want to keep them addicted to guns and religion so that they will deny their brain its own ability to critically think. And so, as crazy as that is, and it is beyond batshit crazy to me, I can tell you guys, people in this state send their kids to private evangelical Christian schools where evolution is not taught, where critical thinking is discouraged, where they're shamed for masturbation, where they're shamed for thinking about just the thought of kissing another boy or kissing a girl, just normal teenage things. America has a crazy Christian problem, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is the perfect example of the moral duplicity and abject hypocrisy from as her being the biggest representative of America's crazy Christians. People see her, and millions of Americans like how cruel she is. They like the fuck off thing. They like to talk about thinking that the earth is 5,000 years old, denying evolution, denying critical thinking. So as crazy as she is, she's an important person to look at because she is representative of the MAGA base. They all believe exactly the way she believes, and it is dangerous. They worship Trump just like they worship Jesus, and they're selling out America. And we are the collateral damage to these unenlightened, stupid people. All right, we're on our way to 1 million subs. Please subscribe, and we'll see you all later.